You're listening to Swadhinota, the Bengal Revolution. This program is a historical account to honor those who fought for India's freedom.
Episode 2. We will journey back in time to that glorious path of Bengal, where every step wrote a new chapter of freedom, where Bengal's soil was not only soaked in blood, but also in dreams, dreams that are now our reality, our hard-fought independence. Sarala Devi, born in 1872, a niece of the renowned Rabindranath Tagore, emerged as a heroic icon symbolizing the strength and resilience of women in India. She earned a gold medal for standing first in Bethune College in her BA English class. Alongside her, Sister Nivedita, born 1867 as Margaret Noble in Ireland, her name meaning one who has dedicated herself in heart and mind, a devoted follower of the great monk Swami Vivekananda, played a pivotal role in shaping the spirit of the times. Together, they took it upon themselves to prepare the fertile grounds for revolution, channeling the energy of Bengal's youth toward militant nationalism and inspiring a generation to fight for their ideals. Sarala did not have direct contact with the underground rebel groups that formed as a result, nor monitored their activities. Nonetheless, she gets all the credit for initiating the Bengal youth and fostering them in their relentless ideas, energy, and patronage. Sarala's uncle, Satyendranath Tagore, was the first ICS officer in India at Maharashtra in western India. During a visit with him, she discovered that Marathas engaged in swordplay, baton play, physical exercises, and a series of lectures of heroism and their exhibition on festive days. In Pune, she saw a pillar commemorating the heroism of the Peshwas and decided to create a Day of the Heroes to celebrate them. She shared this idea in a Bharati magazine and challenged the Bengalis to do or die.
Learn to defy death, do social work, and help the plague victims, rescue people engulfed by fire, save people from dangerous situations, circumnavigate the earth, spend time in Sahara, scale the Mount Everest. A sound mind in a sound body is a great asset. Let Bengalis have the same assets in these regards as the rest of India. You need to dispel your fear of white men.
In an article, Punch for Punch, she wrote,
I urge people to stand tall when white soldiers and civilians insult you or your family in the streets. Protest. Make them eat crow then and there, without the benefit of the court system.
The editions of Bharati were filled with readers submitting their experiences and stories of the counterpunches they threw. The fire of patriotism and rage started burning with flames reaching sky high. The schoolboys and girls came in droves to meet Sarala. Soon even the adults followed suit. Sarala selected a few of them to form an intimate group. She placed a map of India and asked them to bow to the map and pledge they would serve the country with all their heart. She offered them a red string bracelet to tie on hand as a mark of self-sacrifice. It was not an underground group, but the resolve would not be undeterred. They were warned not to gloat in public about it. A few years later, there was a huge hue and cry when a proposal to geographically cut Bengal into two halves was made by the British rulers. This Rakhi became of paramount importance, as Rabindranath adopted it to promote unity within the community, and the tying of Rakhi spread all over the state of Bengal. At Sarala Devi's abode on Circular Road, an ustad, or martial arts teacher by the name of Martaza, was employed to teach young adults, playing with swords, batons, and tactics of self-defense in a gym. In a copycat fashion, this gym spread all over Calcutta. On the Day of Heroes, the special day Sarala dedicated to celebrating heroism, an exhibition was organized to showcase the skills of young adults through a display of various martial arts. Winners received prizes such as gloves and first aid tools, while all participants were awarded a medal inscribed with "Become a Hero" on one side and "God Slay Demons" on the other. The event concluded with everyone bowing to a sword adorned with a garland, scattering flower petals over it as a symbol of commitment, and singing praises to honor the fallen heroes of the nation. In 1904, Sarala funded the Treasury of Lakshmi to promote cottage industry and established the Greater India Women's Association to advance nationalism among women. Sarala overcame the great influence of Brahmo religion, founded by her illustrious grandfather, Debendranath Tagore, born 1817, and embraced by Rabindranath, her uncle. She understood that the country would not be freed by meditating upon Brahman alone, the formless god of the Brahmos. A spark of the dazzling presence of the great monk Swami Vivekananda, along with his charisma and his ability to inspire and empower the youth, ignited with Sarala as well, transforming her completely. Later in her life, Sarala reflected that this encounter carved a pathway in her mind, guiding her to follow the path of transcendental piety as practiced by the Swami. In this fertile soil of Bengal entered Sister Nivedita, Arabinda Ghosh, born 1872, Aurobindo's brother Baran Ghosh, and Jyotindranath Banerjee, Niralamba Swami, the great Indian nationalists. The underground clubs started their work with great enthusiasm and rapport. The great Margaret Noble, also known as Sister Nivedita, disciple of Swami Vivekananda, arrived on this revolutionary platform of Bengal and challenged.
In Ireland, we have a saying which history has verified. England yields nothing without bombs. Every step forward, every reform has always been wrested from the government and paid for by a handful of men. But Ireland is proud of its heroes. Where are the heroes produced by your generation?
Soon Sister Nivedita learned that Bengal would not only produce revolutionary leaders and warmongers such as Aurobindo out of necessity, but holy spiritual masters like Debendranath Tagore and Sri Ramakrishna, and great social reformers such as Rajaram Mohan Roy, with an international outlook, and Pundit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, famous for their work all over the world in their lifetime and beyond. Swami Vivekananda was the pioneer of new nationalism and the concept of statewide revolt, and Sister Nivedita became a vociferous spokesperson advocating for it. Their influence took over drastically from the Himalayas of the north to the Indian Ocean of the south. A jealous British administrator reportedly said, "Who is this Vivekananda? Arrest and hang him." The revolutionaries' daily Bible was the Bhagavad Gita and the volumes of books composed by Vivekananda. Sister Nivedita and Sarala sowed the seeds on the field of action. They were a great inspiration to the revolt groups. They lit the fire of revolution on the pyre prepared by Vivekananda. Unfortunately, Sister Nivedita died in 1911 due to her undying work, travel, and succumbing to illness frequently. She was not able to meet the later Grandmasters Mohandas K. Gandhi and Subhas Chandra Bose, the epithets Mahatma and Leader of the Nation respectively bestowed upon them by Rabindranath Tagore. Aurobindo joined Baran in the Anushilan Samiti, a training association, in 1902. Sister Nivedita was likely aware of the fiery articles advocating armed revolution in magazines such as Indu Prakash, Dharmara, Jugantar, Karma Yogin, and others published between 1896 and 1907. Aurobindo was arrested in 1908 in connection with a bombing incident, spent a year in jail, and was released in 1909. During his imprisonment, Aurobindo underwent a profound spiritual transformation, renounced revolutionary activities, and later established an ashram in Pondicherry dedicated to yoga and meditation in 1910. As Aurobindo Ghosh permanently stepped away from the revolutionary movement, Nivedita may no longer have seen him as an enduring hero of the revolution. However, it remains a fact that Aurobindo was among the first to advocate for the boycott of British goods and to actively engage in armed resistance against British rule. It is also important to acknowledge the contributions of Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, born in 1838, often referred to as the Walter Scott of Bengal. He authored the famous Vande Mataram, I Bow to the Mother, in the 1870s, which was adopted as the national song in 1937. Bankim Chandra, along with Rishi Rajnarayan Bose, born in 1826, Aurobindo Ghosh's grandfather, was a staunch advocate of nationalism. Bankim Chandra, who served as a deputy magistrate, subtly criticized the perceived immorality of some British individuals in his novels. Figures like Vidyasagar and Ashutosh Mukherjee, born in 1864, supported the idea of punch for punch, a concept suggested by Sarala Devi. While not all intellectuals could actively participate in the armed freedom struggle, novelists such as Bankim Chandra and Sarat Chandra Chattopadhyay expressed their support for militant nationalism through their works, including Anananda Math, a shrine to joy, and Pathar Dabi, the command of the path. Hemchandra Kanungo, a teacher at Midnapore Collegiate School where Rishi Rajnarayan Bose once taught, traveled to France to study explosives and bomb-making techniques, further highlighting the diverse efforts of individuals in the struggle for independence.
ওদের বাঁধন যতই শক্ত হবে ততই বাঁধন টুটবে মোদের ততই বাঁধন টুটবে ওদের যতই আঁখি রক্ত হবে মোদের আঁখি ফুটবে ততই মোদের আঁখি ফুটবে